Centurion is one of the largest and most imposing enemies that Rebecca Chambers and Billy Coen will have to contend with during the events of the game Resident Evil 0. A mutant centipede that was subjected to the effects of the T-virus, Centurion would grow to a length of well over 32 feet tall, becoming one of the most dominant predators wandering the grounds of Umbrella's training facility. Despite the impressive physique of this towering beast, however, Centurion wasn't a creature that was created by Marcus or his students, his origins being quite a bit more murky than many of the others that haunt the mansion grounds. The story of Centurion as we know it begins with a man named Dr. James Marcus and his research into a virus he'd recently created dubbed the T-virus. Early research into his new creation would bring about relatively primitive experimentation. Creatures representing different families of the animal kingdom would be selected as a baseline for how the virus would develop inside a specific genus. Frogs would be selected to represent amphibia, monkeys to represent mammalia. However, no documentation was ever found suggesting that centipedes were selected to represent arthropoda. This lack of research would instead suggest to a much more interesting and disturbing origin for the enormous monster. This suggested origin being that Centurion was instead born of secondhand exposure to the virus, a likely result of its consumption of contaminated prey. This makes Centurion an interesting case study for the devastation that T can cause without supervision. The threat of the virus completely altering the ecosystem in which it's introduced is terrifying in its own right, with such rapid evolution causing beasts to require even bigger prey to satiate their appetites, turning their attention to humans who are no longer outside of their food chain. The Centurion is one of the most interesting and disruptive creatures that can be found on the grounds of Umbrella's abandoned facility. Its massive frame, mixed with its enhanced strength and fortitude, makes it more than a match for its prey. And while it may suffer from many of the same pitfalls of the other creatures that have been subjected to T, its brutish strength more than makes it a match for all who find themselves in its clutches.